Alright, hey guys, remember CCG back in the new video. So this video I'm going to be talking about a new archetype named Rescue Ace. And yeah, let's just get started here. So here we have the first card, which is Rescue Ace Impulse. It's a level 3 fire warrior effect monster. During your main phase, you can make the one effect monster your opponent controls with the highest attack of your choice of tide unable to activate its effects on the field this turn. So that's a very interesting effect. I haven't seen that before. Just being able, if your opponent just sets up one strong monster and you're able to use this, you know, with the highest attack and just essentially not negate it but prevent it from using its effects. Of course, that means that the continuous effects are still in play, but the effects that require it to be manually activated are unable to be activated. So this is a very interesting effect and pretty powerful. Just being able to use this, since typically the monster with the highest attack tends to be the strongest one. Of course, there's exceptions to this, but it's a very interesting effect, and this is just on a regular, it's not even like on a boss monster, so that's cool to see. And when your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, quick effect, you contribute this card from your hand or field, special summon one machine Rescue Ace monster from your deck. So that's interesting. Just okay, if your opponent activates a monster effect, you contribute this card and you get to special summon a machine rescue monster, Rescue Ace monster from your deck. So again, really, this is pretty solid. Just being able to special summon out a Rescue Ace from your deck, any Rescue Ace monster is really strong here. And depending on what the other effects of the other Rescue Ace monsters are, this can be extremely broken. And yeah, you're also able to do this from your hand if you need to. So being able to essentially special summon a Rescue Ace monster from your deck for free, very powerful. And the first effect is really strong as well. So here we have the second monster, which is Rescue Ace Hoister. So if this card is normal or special summon, you can add one Rescue Ace spell from your deck to your hand. So solid effect, just being able to add a Rescue Ace spell. We'll see what those spells are, but again, just good to see there. When your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, quick effect, you contribute this card from your hand or field, special summon one Rescue Ace monster from your hand, except Rescue Ace Hoister. So similar to the first monster, when your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, you're just able to tribute this card and summon a Rescue Ace monster. This isn't from your deck though, it only lets you special summon a Rescue Ace monster from your hand. So not as powerful, but of course being able to just search out a Rescue Ace spell makes it worth running. And yeah, you're just being able to combo cards from your hand is also pretty solid to see here. And this does give you a way to play during your opponent's turn as well, since they're going to be playing. You're going to be able to special summon these monsters out if you choose to do so, and then during your turn you can activate their effects again. So pretty strong, pretty curious how this deck's going to work here. Here we have Rescue Ace Hydrant, which is a level 1 fire machine effect monster. Your opponent cannot target this card for attacks or with card effects while you control a Rescue Ace monster other than Rescue Ace Hydrant. So it's just the way it's protected by your other Rescue Ace monsters. You can activate one quick play spell or trap the turn it is set by your Rescue Ace card's effect. So it just makes you use quick play spell or trap. Of course we have to see that, but that's pretty strong to see. Gives you access to your traps immediately, and depending on what that is, it can be pretty powerful. During your main phase, you can add one Rescue Ace monster from your deck to your hand. So again, really good. Just a search, generic search, and being able to activate a spell or trap is good too, and has a way to protect itself. Really, it's a strong level 1 fire monster here. Here we have Rescue Ace Fire Attacker, which is a level 6. This looks like it's supposed to be a drone, which is cool to see. And if a Rescue Ace monster other than Rescue Ace Fire Attacker is normal or special summon to your field, you can special summon this card from your hand. So it's just an easy way to get itself out. And if a card is added to your opponent's hand, except by drawing, you can draw 2 cards and then send 1 card from your hand to the grave. That is really good. It's essentially a pot of greed. That afterwards you just have to discard a card, which is fine. There's probably cards here that can benefit from it, or at least get it back from the grave or do something with it. But being able to draw 2 just because your opponent just searches out a card, pretty good, and you're just gonna have to have this card out in order to do so. But yeah, solid monster. Here we have Rescue Ace Fire Engine, which looks like a really strong monster here. It's kind of hard for me to see like the image, but you guys will have a closer look at it. But it looks like it's gonna be one of those big, like closer to a boss monster here. And if a Rescue Ace monster other than Rescue Ace Fire Engine is normal or special summon to your field, you can special summon this card from your hand. So similar to this Rescue Ace Fire Attacker, just being able to special summon itself out. And this looks pretty good. So I can already kind of see here that The main thing about these is that when your opponent activates an effect, you're just able to special summon a Rescue Ace monster from your hand or from your deck, depending on which one you use here. And then, Rescue Ace Fire Attacker and Rescue Ace Fire Engine are able to summon themselves from the hand, if that's the case. So pretty strong. And if a monster is special summoned to your opponent's field, you can special summon one level 4 or lower Rescue Ace monster from your hand, deck, or grave. So really strong, just being able to special summon any of those. So you can choose to go for the Hydrant here in order to just make it so your quick play spell or traps are able to be activated that turn, or you can do that in order to add a Rescue Ace monster from your deck to your hand, or you can of course do this to add a Rescue Ace spell, and you can do this as well just so that you're able to essentially negate the first effect monster, but it's not it's not negating, but they're unable to activate its effect. And yeah, it looks like a pretty solid monster. Yeah, these cards are looking pretty good. And here we have Rescue Ace Turbulence. So this looks like the real boss monster for the deck at level 9. It looks like an Infinitrack monster, or looks like an Earth Machine type monster, but it's fire. So yeah, let's go with the first effect here. So you can banish 2 Rescue Ace cards from your grave, special summon this card from your hand. So again, that other Rescue Ace card lets you discard one of them. So of course, having them in the grave, at least you're able to get some value out through this. During your main phase, you can set up to 4 Rescue Ace quick play spells and/or normal traps with different names directly from your deck. So being able to just set a bunch of cards, that's really good. Of course, it's going to depend what those effects are, but just being able to set 4 from your deck, really good. Yeah, I'm guessing they have to be like not overly strong or anything, but we're gonna have to see there. And if another card you control leaves the field by an opponent's card effect, you can target one card in the field, destroy it. So if a card is just removed by your opponent, you're able to destroy a card. Pretty good, just as a form of removal. And yeah, I'm curious as to this effect, how strong this is going to be. This all depends on how good these spells, quick play spells and traps are. But yeah, pretty easy to get out. And yeah, the monsters are a solid lineup. And let's see the spells and traps. So here we have Rescue Ace Headquarters. It's a field spell. Rescue Ace monsters you control gain 500 attack and defense while your opponent controls a monster. So that's pretty solid attack boost. During your main phase, you can normal summon 1 Rescue Ace monster in addition to your other normal summon. So that's pretty good, just because normally you're going to want to get the Rescue Ace Hydrant for that reason. It looks like you're going to have a lot of ways to get monsters out though, so it doesn't really seem like it's going to be a problem. But that's cool, just being able to normal summon another one. And then once per turn, you can target 4 of your Rescue Ace cards that are banished and or in your grave, shuffle them into the deck, then draw 1 card. So far we've only seen that the boss monster banishes 2 in order to be summoned, but I'm assuming that's just going to be another card, other cards like the spells and traps that do so as well. And here we have the first card. So this is Rescue. So this card is always treated as a Rescue Ace card. And target 1 Rescue Ace monster in your grave, or if you control Rescue Ace Hydrant, you can target 1 monster in your opponent's graveyard instead, special summon it to your field. So interesting, it's either a monster reborn for your Rescue Ace monsters, but if you have that Hydrant, you're able to just rescue monster reborn from your opponent's side of the field. So pretty interesting, and it looks like Rescue Ace Hydrant might be an important card to this deck, but yeah, solid card and a really good card to pick up from the Turbulence here. And yeah, let's go to the next one here. So here we have Alert. It's always treated as a Rescue Ace. You can add 1 Rescue Ace monster from your grave to your hand, or if you control the Hydrant, you can add 1 Rescue Ace monster from your deck to your hand instead. So it's a search, and of course it's still centered around Hydrant, so it looks like you're going to be mainly summoning out the Hydrant in order to get the best version of these effects here. Here we have Contain. If you control a Rescue Ace monster, target 1 effect monster your opponent controls. It cannot attack. Its effects are negated. Also, if you control a Rescue Ace Hydrant, it cannot be used as material for fusion, synchro, exceed, or link summon. And these effects last until the end of the turn. So pretty good. It's just essentially a Fiendish chain. And yeah, strong, of course, with the Hydrant. It makes it even better. But yeah, looks like an imperm for the deck. And yeah, a great search for this Turbulence, since it looks like you're going to be setting yourself with the Turbulence and then like setting 4 of these and to be able to stop your opponent. And here we have Extinguish. So Extinguish, this card is always treated as a Rescue Ace monster. If you control a Rescue Ace monster, target 1 effect monster your opponent controls, destroy it. And if you control Rescue Ace Hydrant, this turn your opponent cannot activate the effects of that monster destroyed with that original name. So again, pretty good. It's a destruction, and it also prevents your opponent from using that effect again. Or of using that effect basically. So pretty powerful card. And yeah, it looks like the spells and traps were kind of what I thought they were going to be. They're not like super powerful, but just having them in mass is pretty strong. And of course the Rescue Ace Hydrant is interesting that seems to be the center of the deck. This deck honestly looks really solid, and this archetype looks like it's gonna be a pretty solid one, and I think people are gonna have a lot of fun with it. I can see it like doing pretty well. It depends if there's gonna be ways to play around with it. We're gonna have to see like what ways this would work, but if you guys have like suggestions of what might work with it, just let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to use the link in the description down below if you want to support the channel, and like, comment, subscribe, and all that. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.